Hello and welcome to Mansell Raceway on the 27th of March 2022 for round 1 of the Blue Challenge. First up, it's the juniors, and as you can see, not a cloud in the sky. Nice long final here, 13 minutes plus a lap of action in store for us this afternoon. And we've had our 3 heats from earlier in the day. Heat 1 was won by Rhys Reed ahead of Sam Mitchell, with Rudy Winslow Morton in 3rd, Jamie Dart 4th, Jamie Bradfield and Ben Gillett both coming in early, and a non-start from Mitch Carpenter, who's suffering from illness this weekend. Heat 2, Rhys Reed would once again take the win, again from Sam Mitchell ahead of Rudy Winslow Morton. Jamie Bradfield in a close-knit 4th ahead of Jamie Dart and Ben Gillett. Once again, Mitch Carpenter non-starting. And Heat 3 was a clean sweep for Rhys Reed ahead of Sam Mitchell and Rudy Winslow Morton. Same top 3 in all 3 heats ahead of Jamie Bradfield, with Ben Gillett and Jamie Dart coming in early in Heat 3. What that is going to do for the grid for the final, Rhys Reed takes pole position ahead of Sam Mitchell and Rudy Winslow Morton. Jamie Bradfield is going to be 4th in 66 ahead of Jamie Dart, and Ben Gillett is going to be rounding out our field after an accident in one of the heats has left him with a bit of a damaged kart, so he's going to be doing his best in the final. As Rhys Reed setting a very quick formation lap through the cut-through. Now on board with Rudy Winslow Morton. Rhys Reed ahead of us in the number 2. Look for the lights. And out they go, and it's a good start from Reed, good start from Sam Mitchell, good start from all the top 4, pretty even as they go into pit bend. Mitchell's going to try and switch back against Rhys Reed though. Jamie Bradfield up into 3rd ahead of Rudy Winslow Morton, but into the complex we go. And it looks like Rhys Reed round past Sam Mitchell, retaking the lead. So it's the number 2 from the number 1 ahead of 66, and then Rudy Winslow Morton, who we are on board with in 4th spot. Nose to tail stuff on the first half a lap. Now Rhys Reed, can he gap the pack as he has done in the 3 heats? Sam Mitchell looking to try and stay with him. Jamie Bradfield having a strong start up into 3rd already, and Rudy Winslow Morton right on the back bumper. Ben Gillett's ahead of Jamie Dart, and they're going to round out the field. Now back on board through the chicane with Winslow Morton. Bradfield's going to get a bit of a poor run through the exit, and that's going to give us the run down the straight. Really pulling back in behind though for turn 1. Looks like he's going to try and get the run out on exit against Jamie Bradfield as they go into the complex. Rhys Reed and Sam Mitchell right ahead of us. Bradfield running very defensive. You can see a lot of looking over his shoulder. Clearly feeling the pressure from Rudy Winslow Morton as they go round through turn 4. Now off of the loop and heading up towards the hangar. Morton runs a little bit wide, and it allows Bradfield a moment of space. But at the front, Rhys Reed starting to put a few tenths into Sam Mitchell, and Jamie Bradfield trying to hang on behind. There's Ben Gillett still ahead of Jamie Dart in 5th and 6th, but through the chicane go the top 4. Looks like Winslow Morton's closed back up onto the back of Jamie Bradfield. Now we're going to go down into turn 1. Bradfield going to run a bit wide, and Morton's going to get alongside on the exit. They're going to run side by side out of turn 1. But Bradfield's going to have the inside line covered off into turn 2. He's going to defend from Rudy Winslow Morton through 3 and up the back straight. Looks like Bradfield got a bit sideways, and Morton had to hit the brakes to avoid. It's going to cost him some momentum and a few tenths, but as you can see, Rhys Reed up in front, starting to gap Sam Mitchell, who's starting to gap Jamie Bradfield, and Morton now going to have to try and catch back up. But in the lead is Rhys Reed, Sam Mitchell, Jamie Bradfield, and Rudy Winslow Morton as close as that through Hangar Bend. Down the straight they go in towards the chicane. Rhys Reed touching the curb there in the lead. And Rudy Winslow Morton once again getting the run, and there's Gillett and Dart. Down towards turn 1 they go. And out of turn 1 up towards the complex. There goes Sam Mitchell. He's looking to put about half a second a lap into Jamie Bradfield on that last lap. Bradfield going for a very late apex there. Now he's concerned once again. He spotted the nose cone of Rudy Winslow Morton. Is he looking over his shoulder quite a lot? Morton just has to focus on attacking though, whereas Bradfield has to focus on not only trying to catch Sam Mitchell, but trying to keep number 6 behind him. As he catches right up onto the back, up through Hangar Bend. There's Rhys Reed in the lead, ahead of Sam Mitchell, and then nose to tail, real bumper to bumper stuff between Jamie Bradfield and Rudy Winslow Morton. Out of the chicane they go, Bradfield checking over his right shoulder. And Morton clips the curb. They're still going to run nose to tail. That's a problem for number 1, Sam Mitchell. He's limping to a halt in the complex. No idea what would have caused that. Now we're on board with Ben Gillett, and you can see Sam Mitchell off to the right behind the wall. Lots of tyre squeal there from Gillett as he's trying to get it slowed down. Now back on board with Rudy Winslow Morton. This battle now promoted to the battle for second. But in the lead, Reese Reed starting to really put some distance between himself and everybody else. 49.2 the last lap from Reed. There's Bradfield and Rudy Winslow Morton, who actually has the fastest sector 3 of anyone, does Rudy Winslow Morton, which explains why he's so strong down the back straight and through the chicane. He's going to try and line up Jamie Bradfield once again for turn 1. Bradfield going to run a bit out on exit. Morton looking to the inside, but nothing doing there. As into the complex they go. Number 6 versus 66. Out the complex and up the back straight. You can see the gap there to Reese Reed. He put another half a second into them last time by. And there's Ben Gillett and Jamie Dart starting to close back in on Gillett. That battle now up for 4th. As up towards Hangar Bend we go once more. Bradfield still looking over his shoulder. Winslow Morton ever present. Down the back straight they go now. This is where Morton is strongest. Into the chicane. You can see the gap closing up under braking. Bradfield going to clip the curb, and that's going to cost him a bit on exit. He's going to move to defend, but Rudy Winslow Morton goes even more to the inside. Didn't go in late on the brakes though, but he's going to have to run on exit. And they go into the complex once more. 5 minutes gone, 7 minutes to go. This is the battle for second, and Reese Reed puts in a new purple lap, fastest lap of the race, 49.1. As there's Ben Gillett and Jamie Dart. That gap ebbing and flowing. A 10th in the favour of Gillett the last time by, as they go up towards turn 4. But up at Hangar Bend, Reese Reed gets close to the wall, head down on exit. And then it's Bradfield and Morton. Bradfield defending once again. Back on board with Rudy Winslow Morton. That gap has gone up. But you can see Rudy Winslow Morton gets the better run through the chicane and takes some time out of Bradfield. As across the line they go. This battle now 5 seconds behind Reese Reed. And in behind Gillett and Dart, still closing up on each other. Into the complex though. 66 still ahead of 6 as they go up the back straight. There's Reese Reed making the turn to go out towards the hangar again. And there's Gillett and Jamie Dart trying to close in. Back up to hangar. Reese Reed leads the way. And still, Rudy Winslow Morton closing in against Jamie Bradfield. He seems to be really good around hangar, does Winslow Morton. As down into the chicane. And on the way out, Bradfield's got a good run. Oh, but a problem for Bradfield! He's slowed in the middle of the straight. That looks serious. As he's going to pull off and into the dummy grid.
What happened?
A few of the seniors there are going to go and check it out, see if they can get him fired back up again. Ron Schoen and James Rees pitching in already. As through goes Ben Gillett and Jamie Dart. Now their battle up to 3rd spot. As they're going to go into the complex. Last time by, Jamie Dart put 6/10 nearly into Ben Gillett to close the gap. Now we're back on board with Gillett up the back stretch and into turn 4. You can hear a lot of tyre squeal coming off of Gillett. A very pleasant noise as there's Rudy Winslow Morton into the chicane. And through the chicane on the way out. Cross the line to finish the lap. We're going to be doing that. It was a 50.4 from Winslow Morton. Did have to dive out the way of Jamie Bradfield though, so we may be going a little bit quicker on this lap. It's through turn 2. Nice wide entry, sets you up nicely for turn 3 and up on towards the back stretch. Gonna run out past the marshal's post, late on the brakes, nice smooth turn in. Come back across for 5 and round the long bend and up towards hangar through the kinks. 1, 2 and 3 right in the braking zone, and round hangar we go. Get close to the wall on exit and down the back stretch. Now we're into the chicane, late on the brakes, miss the curbs, get close to the curb, and fire out of the chicane. That's a good run out from Winslow Morton. 50.1 that lap we were on board with. now we drop back to the battle as Ben Gillett and Jamie Dart is visibly closer on this time by than he was last. Across the line they go. 500ths closer is the number 4 to the kart we're on board with, number 33, Ben Gillett. He's going to jump on board into the complex. Nice wide entry there, getting close to the apex on the exit to set you up for the slingshot. Down the back stretch we go, past the marshal's post. But Gillett a bit later on the brakes than Winslow Morton. Not using quite as much track on exit, as around we go now, up on the run towards Hangar. Very fast part of the track this, and a nice curve in the braking zone makes it very tricky of a corner. And on the way out and down the back stretch, up towards the chicane. Right, left, and right again, and firing out now down the start finish and across the line to finish a lap. Jamie Dart's closing in on us though, 400ths further on that last time by. The gap now under a second between the two of them. But here's Reese Reed, just serenely driving on towards a victory unless unforeseen circumstances get in the way. Likewise, Rudy Winslow Morton looking good for second spot. As into the chicane goes Morton. Back on board with Ben Gillett, going up towards Hangar Bend. You can see keeping it nice and tucked in. Jamie Dart still on his heels. This battle for the final podium spot is on. And into the chicane they go. Looks like Dart may have closed the gap a little bit further on that last lap. And sure enough, another couple of hundredths. With Jamie Dart inching up closer to the back of Ben Gillett. Now we go into the complex. Looking evenly matched between the two, as now down the back stretch towards the marshal's post. On board with Gillett once more. Being very wary of that wall on the left on exit. Few drivers have had problems with that, both in the juniors and the seniors this weekend in the heats. So a fairly safe line there from Gillett, as now around Hangar Bend once more. 2 minutes left on the clock, so probably about 3 laps to go. A long race this, fatigue may come into play in effect. Now across the line it goes Gillett once more. Put 3/10 into Jamie Dart that last time by, so Dart must have made a mistake while we were on board. But now there's Reese Reed out of top bend once again, heading down towards the chicane. And now out of turn 3 and up towards turn 4 of the loop. Now we're back on board with Rudy Winslow Morton into the chicane. Through the right, through the left, through the right, and opens up onto the pit straight. 50.3 for Rudy Winslow Morton. There's Reese Reed in the lead of the race, heading up towards the loop. Now in complex, Rudy Winslow Morton, you can see a bit of a slide there through turn 2. And now up onto the exit, he's going to run up the back stretch. Now into turn 4. Reed's fastest lap has held since lap 6, but Rudy Winslow Morton's lap 2 third sector is still the fastest of anyone. I don't think that's going to be changing too much, since the top 2 drivers both looking fairly relaxed at the moment, although Reese Reed does bang in a 49.3 right on cue. Through the chicane goes Winslow Morton. He's going to cross the line. 25 seconds left to go, so the rest of this lap, and then one more for the leaders. Back on board with Ben Gillett. He's going to have Jamie Dart behind him. Looks like that gap has started to open up a little bit. Gillett pulled 100th on the last lap. That was a mistake into the chicane from Gillett. That's going to keep Dart on his toes. He can try and close that gap, but no, the gap opens up 2 more tenths over the last lap. As the timer is going to hit 0, as Reese Reed is going to be heading in towards the chicane. And sure enough, there he goes. He's going to be taking the last lap board this time by. Here he comes. Yep, the last lap board is out. Reese Reed into pit bend. He'll have swept the weekend if this keeps up. Rudy Winslow Morton, he's going to see the last lap board. There it is on the right. Down into pit bend for kart number 6. going to be on his way to a very good result as well. He's up towards Hanger Bend. Ben Gillett just to check to see where Jamie Dart is. He's not on him yet. But still a lap to go for these two, battling over third spot and the last spot on the podium. It's going to be fairly big for either driver. As Jamie Dart closes in 4/10 on the last lap. Might be too little too late, we'll have to find out. But out of Hanger Bend and down towards the chicane, number 2 Reese Reed is going to cross the line to take the win in the first round of the 2022 Blue Challenge for the juniors. Reese Reed takes pole, wins the race, fastest lap en route to boot. Phenomenal drive from Reed. As here's Rudy Winslow Morton through the chicane, he's going to finish a very game second place. So good drive from Rudy Winslow Morton. There he goes, he's happy with himself. As out of Hanger Bend, now that gap closer than ever between Dart and Gillett, but it's going to run out of time. Ben Gillett's going to hold off Jamie Dart to finish third in kart 33. Sure enough, he does, ahead of Jamie Dart in fourth. And that is going to round out our race here for the juniors. Round 1 in the books as Rudy Winslow Morton heads into the pit lane. Down through scrutineering where the results will be declared. Reese Reed wins the race ahead of Rudy Winslow Morton, with Ben Gillett in third ahead of Jamie Dart, with Jamie Bradfield and Sam Mitchell both pulling up and non-finishing, and Mitch Carpenter with a non-start. What that will do to the championship standings, it's going to be Reese Reed with a maximum score going to be taking the lead of the championship heading into round 2 ahead of Rudy Winslow Morton. Sam Mitchell's front row grid spot is good enough to keep him third ahead of Ben Gillett and Jamie Dart, and Jamie Bradfield all tied on 9 points apiece, with Mitch Carpenter going to be rounding out the class in 7th spot. That's going to be it for the juniors this weekend, but there's still more action to come as the senior blues take to the grid for their final. But for the juniors, their next action is going to be in 2 weeks at Clay Pigeon Kart Club, so we shall see you then. Goodbye.
Got ya! Woohoo!
So, move going up. This way.
Woo! Well done, boys. Well done.